Megan, can you please come? We have a shoot.
I don't want to. Can we not do it tomorrow, please?
Can you please stop your drama and come?
Oh, I don't want to come. Fine. Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of Take 5. As you may have guessed, today's episode is on sloth. Ugh. No, not that sloth. Gosh, that took too much of effort. No, no, not that sloth. We're talking about one of the 7 deadly sins, sloth. Also known as acedia in the Oxford Concise Dictionary of the Christian Church, which was defined by theologian and Saint Thomas Aquinas as state of restlessness and inability to either work or to pray. Acedia originally comes from the Greek word which means negligence and lack of care.
Megan,
What?
make it a little more lively, please.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to. Fine, I'll do it. Be more lively. So, simply put, sloth or acedia is the avoidance of physical or spiritual work. Many of you may be wondering why it is a sin. Saint Thomas Aquinas then went on to define sloth as sorrow about spiritual good and sluggishness of the mind which neglects to bring good. According to the Catechism of the Catholic Church, spiritual sloth goes so far as to refuse the joy that comes from God and to be repelled by the divine goodness. If that confused you, check out the famously quoted Bible verse, Proverbs 16:27. Idle hands are the devil's workshop. When we avoid doing spiritual or even physical work, this gives us time to sin, causing us to drift away from God. Sloth becomes a sin when it slows down and even brings to that halt the energy you must use to bring about salvation and to work towards doing the will of God. What happens when we become lazy? A lazy person falls prey to poverty. He leaves God's gifts unused. I'm sure you remember the parable of the talents found in Matthew 25:14-30. A master leaves on a trip, and before leaving, he entrusts talents to his servants. The first received 5 talents, the second received 2 talents, and the third received only 1. The first and the second servant went and doubled their talents, for which they were rewarded. The third servant, who was lazy and made the excuse that he was afraid of losing talent, was punished for his laziness. The master then took his talent and gave it to the one who had a lot more. When we use God's gifts for His glory, He multiplies it and gives us a lot more than we can take on. But when we leave it to waste, He can take it all away and make better use of it through someone else. The counterpart of sloth is diligence, which is one of the 7 heavenly virtues. You've probably heard it before. I remember my professors and bosses constantly telling me to be diligent in my schoolwork, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. You've probably heard it yourself from your boss who talks about due diligence. But diligence in this case is basically the effort of doing one's part while keeping faith and reliance in God. As quoted in Hebrews 6:11, we want each of you to show the same diligence to the very end in order to make your hope sure. We do not want you to become lazy, but to imitate those who, through faith and patience, inherit what has been promised. Sloth is the desire for ease, even at the expense of doing the known will of God. Whatever we do in life requires effort, because effort is what bears fruit of the hard work we put in, be it our spiritual lives, workplaces, schools, or relationships. Everything we do is to be means of salvation. So get off your lazy behinds and do something for the Lord and for yourself. Go read a book, start a project, start exercising, learn an instrument or a new language, and sing for God. Get out there and let God overflow you with His blessings. And above all, be kind to each other. If you like this episode and want to see more, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more on Take 5. Do not forget to hit that bell icon for weekly notifications. Until next week, that's all we have for you here at Take 5. Bye!